Now, to explain secure applications for mobile, I think I have to go a little bit back in the history. So in GSMA, we started to define the, what we call embedded UICC or eSIM, where now the chip that we know from the SIM cards is soldered into the phones. And what is representing the SIM card with all the features of the operator is loaded through the network. And so that's out and running. And you have that one chip, and now you can have several of those eSIMs on that chip, and you can switch between those. Now, if that's the network credentials of the operator, that's totally fine. But we have operators that have applications, for example, payment applications in addition in their profile. And now the problem is, if their profile is switched on, then those applications will work. But if the user switches to a different profile, then that application also doesn't work. And if it's a payment application, okay, with the other profile, with the other eSIM, the end user cannot pay. That's not so nice. And to solve that, the idea of sort of a neutral domain came up where such applications can be stored. And that would be an always-on domain. And that's what we now call the SAM, or Secure Applications for Mobile. So it's that one domain which sits in parallel to the eSIMs and which will always be on and be there for, applications which are intended to be usable independent of the profiles. Now, if we have that that domain for those applications, in previous generations of mobiles, what has happened was that there was a separate embedded secure element in addition to the SIM card, which held such applications. And now, basically, that can go directly onto the same chip where we have the eSIMs. So in some way, it makes the integration of those services easier for the OEM. It's only one chip that can do everything. So that's the benefit for the OEM. Now, with standardizing that SAM, there will be one standardized way for service providers. So, for example, for those banks that provide a banking application, if it's a FIDO authenticator that can be downloaded, anything like that, there will be a standardized way for downloading it, which will also make it easier to deploy such services. And on the other hand, if we then have a standardized and easy way to deploy that, we hope that there additional services will make use of the security that we provide by that secure element that's integrated in the phones. And the idea for SAM came up in the GSMA in the eSIM project. But because it's not directly related to mobile operator and their network access, GSMA decided to make it a separate project. So it's the GSMA SAM project. And because much technology that's required for that already exists in Global Platform. For example, for application download and installation, for the security protocols related to that. And that's why SAM basically asked Global Platform whether they want to provide that part. And that's how that came to Global Platform. And now we are working in the card specification working group on that SAM configuration, which will provide basically the logic of security domains that an application provider can then use to download the applications together with some of our latest protocols. We'll also need some extensions for those protocols for the download. So we have a first draft of the specification. But of course, if there are additional requirements and so on, we would always welcome other contributors that want to work on that. And it's basically join the SE committee, join the SE specification working group, and then everybody who's interested can bring contributions to that specification.